The fiery exchange sets the scene for what's likely to be a divisive week in Canberra as climate policy takes centre stage. Labor's continuing to defend its decision to announce this 2050 target without explaining how it would be reached and wading into what was extremely controversial territory at the last election, as we saw. Let's go live now to political reporter Eliza Redwoods. Eliza, we've just seen how heated the debate can get.
Absolutely. This angry stoush shows just how divisive this issue is and what we can expect from question time later today. Labor took a net zero target to the last election and they're adopting the policy again. The opposition says it can be achieved while still mining and exporting coal, but they haven't outlined the path to net zero by 2050. Labor's Deputy Leader Richard Marles was deflecting questions on this today and putting pressure on the government to explain what its long-term plan will be.
The question today is, how will the government provide costings and explain the cost of business as usual? How will the government explain how it will fund the cost to the economy of not acting? Because that's actually where the cost lies.
And Eliza, new figures show the government is struggling to reduce emissions.
Yeah, so the government's own figures show that there was no change to emissions in the 3 months to September. Over the course of that year, emissions fell by just 0.3%. Since 2005, emissions have been cut by 13%, and with a target of 26% by 2030, that means the government must double its emissions reduction over the next 10 years. There has been improvement in the energy sector so far, but the emissions reduction minister says a booming LNG export industry means that this is putting upward pressure on emissions.
The simple point is, in the domestic economy, we've seen a reduction in emissions of over 2%. In the overall economy, there's a reduction in emissions. And the pressure we're feeling is from our very strong exports. And those exports are reducing emissions in Japan, in Korea, in China. So we can be very proud of the role that Australia is playing in all this as a big exporting agricultural and resources economy. We are in a different position to other countries, but our domestic emissions are coming out down very fast.
The government says that technology is key to cutting emissions and they could have their technology roadmap out as early as this week. Annalise?
Eliza, thank you.